Welcome back. Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. Been a busy show. We'll have a busy weekend. You can join us at the Bracket Room in Arlington for Washington Game Down Censored. Our pregame show kicks off at 10:30 before Washington takes on Philly. Voted the best sports bar in D.C. by In the Capital. Bracket Room is the DMV's premier sports lounge and eatery. Visit 1067thefandc.com/events for details. We're there all year long, so it's easy to figure out where we're going to be before the Washington Redskins play. We're going to be at the Bracket Room. So it kicks off at 10:30.
If you like chicken and waffles, fried chicken and waffles.
Or if you like tuna tartare, which I had, which was very good.
Or if you like omelets.
You didn't go with the frites this
I
time?
did not go with the frites this time. No, I did not.
All right, join us right now, a guy who's famous for his work and his son's work. His son plays for the Arizona Cardinals. He works for Game Day Gold, covers the Vikings, also on the National Programming Network. It's Larry Fitzgerald Sr. Hey, Larry.
Good morning.
So what's your take on this whole Adrian Peterson situation? Kind of explain to us. We had a whole debate and callers voicing their opinion on everything from discipline to the Vikings' decision. He apparently is practicing with the team, although he didn't play with the team last week.
Well, it came down awfully strange. Friday came from nowhere, knocking Ray Rice and the commissioner off the front pages of hostility, you might say, from those that don't think it's been handled correctly in both cases. Adrian obviously was deactivated by the Vikings and didn't play in the 30-7 spanking at the hands of the New England Patriots on Sunday at TCF Stadium. The Vikings committed, 4 turnovers and had a field goal blocked and looked rather unorganized offensively. So clearly the team was not prepared or expected to lose their superstar as suddenly as was the case. I think the Vikings made that decision to sort of get out in front of the National Football League on any potential other discipline targeted at Adrian Peterson. But yesterday, the Vikings, to many surprise, have reactivated Adrian, and he's back in good graces apparently with the team as they try and support him from a family standpoint. Many of the players are supportive of him, the organization is, and they expect that he'll be ready to play and take the Vikings with a better chance of winning when they go down to New Orleans on Sunday to take on the 0-2 Saints. The decision has been definitely controversial, to say the least. I attended the news conference at Winter Park, and there are more satellite trucks at the Viking headquarters. You think Brett Favre is coming out of retirement again.
Right.
But there's certainly this is a big story, and everybody's all over it, and everybody has an opinion on it. They view Adrian Peterson based on some pictures that have shown the marks left on his 4-year-old child, and then now there's another 4-year-old child apparently back in 2013 that has a mark or a bruise on his head that they're attributing to Adrian as well. So this is rather strange. It's rather difficult to deal with because I've never looked at Adrian Peterson as he is being perceived now.
Right. All of us are. And I think that's why it's just taking everybody aback here. But you say, the decision has been made. I think you know as well as anybody does that, we thought the decision had been made in the Ray Rice case. And then as more evidence mounts, as a video pops up, not suggesting there'll be a video with Adrian. But, I'm getting the sense that I don't think the outrage is going to subside at all. And I could see the Vikings by Thursday licking their finger, sticking it out the window, and then going ahead and shutting them down again. Do you see that as a possibility?
You know what? I'm going to wait and see. I'll be watching just like everybody else. But I think the Vikings have thought about this long and hard. I think they believe they know who Adrian Peterson is. The Vikings are not being disingenuous. They basically didn't tell us that they knew that this was working sort of in the background in terms of Adrian's personal life with his 4-year-old son.
How long did they know, Larry? Because that was something we debated about.
Well, they've known for months because
that's amazing.
It happened in May.
Right.
And he had to go before a grand jury, and nobody, at least around here, knew about it until it was reported on Friday that he had been indicted. And indicted? I said, wow, on what? But it's news to us now, and now some people have seen some pictures. And Adrian said he was disciplining his son and using a switch. Some people have called it a tree branch and different things. But, I've been disciplined by my parents over the years, and I'm not condoning what Adrian did at all. I'm just saying that in our culture, the black community, it's consistent that parents discipline their children, and a parent sometimes will grab whatever is available to make their point and trying to get their child to realize that they're upset and that they didn't like what they did to get them upset. And so in this case, Adrian probably went overboard, but I don't see him as a child abuser. I really don't. And we'll see, though, as he goes and has to deal with the trial that'll come subsequently in the future months to come.
But see, this is where the real problem comes into play because, as you say, maybe, it's been your experience and your culture. This is something that happens. But as, we had Greg Doyle on earlier, and I thought it was an excellent point that you can't use culture, though, as an excuse. They said Michael Vick in dogfighting. Well, in his culture, that was normal, but it's still wrong, right? The NFL has a real problem here because I do think you're right that in a certain culture here, it's very, very pervasive. And probably a lot of players in the league come from that culture.
Absolutely. And I am successful in my career as a 36-year veteran journalist, the first to ever cover his own son in a Super Bowl. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if my parents hadn't laid down the law to me on what was right and what was wrong. Now, I did some things that were not smart, and I'm not going to lie about it. I've been disciplined. I've been spanked. I've been whipped. But the point is, that was the way my parents did it. I didn't quite do it that way with my children, but you learn as you go along. But in this case, Adrian attributes the way he went about doing it with his 4-year-old son because that's the way he was disciplined. So, but you're right. We're in a different time now. Things are different. And you certainly have to be very, very careful when it comes to disciplining a child.
Talking to Larry Fitzgerald Sr., covers the Vikings for Game Day Gold. Switching teams here, Larry. Let's talk about your son and his team, Arizona. They're off to a 2-0 start. I think they got a big game this weekend against San Francisco. I know he was a little frustrated in that first game, and he was, not targeted too much. Only had the one catch, but they certainly got him involved in the offense last week. Your thoughts on him and that team and whether or not Carson Palmer is going to play this week?
Well, I don't know about Carson. That kind of surprised me that he wasn't available to play against the Giants on Sunday, but they were able to go on with Stanton and use special teams and defense to win the game 25-14 over the suddenly awful New York Giants.
Right.
But the Cardinals are looking good. They've always had a strong defense, and their defense is probably just as strong this year, even though they've lost, 2, 3, 4 guys that seem to be Pro Bowlers to injury. But they are getting John Abraham back. Carson Palmer, he's the captain of the offense. My son, Larry, he's a fixture with the Arizona Cardinals. He's been a Pro Bowler 8 times and one of the best receivers in the game. And certainly in the first game, the victory, the comeback in the fourth quarter over San Diego, who last week beat the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, the Cardinals rallied to beat them 18-17, and so they're 2-0. They're one of 7 teams that are living the dream in the National Football League.
Hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you again. It's Larry Fitzgerald Sr. Yeah. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to get him on for longer. I love the fact.
Some interesting things to say, though.
I love the fact that he backs his son. We didn't get to that.
Yeah.
His son didn't get any catches, then he targets. He starts trashing the team.
Son is a stud.
I love that.
He got the 6 catches last week. So
yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't get too many this week against the Niners.
Yeah, you're hoping that he's limited.
That's a big game because it's at Arizona.
You're hoping Larry Fitzgerald Sr. rants on Twitter about the lack of targets for his son.
It's at Arizona,
yeah.
And, if San Francisco's 1-2 with 2 NFC losses, 1 in the division, who knows what's next.
It's a big one.
By the way,
busy show
they
today.
play Philadelphia afterwards.
Skins did release Bakari Rambo.
I called that on Sunday.
There you go. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I feel bad for the kid personally.
Trust me, I wasn't that worried. I figured that he's either going to be benched or released.
Everybody think it's cut.
I mean, feel bad for people. These are elite athletes. These are the best
Right.
athletes in the
I
world.
mean, he just lost his job.
He just lost his
I
job.
know, but I'm wondering if he feels bad for like the 40 guys that got cut in training camp.
Actually, if you check cut day, check my tweets. I do. I do
All
feel
right,
bad for
gotta
those
get
guys.
out of here. For Lurch, Cakes, EV, I'm JP with the Junkies. See you tomorrow. Grant and Danny are up next on The Fan.
106.7 The